Namaste and welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity. We're going to continue with our little exercise of answering a question from the jar. I've selected some questions that I found recently on my blog that I was asking myself that dated back to 2018, 2019. And I decided they'd be a wonderful addition to the questions already in the jar. So I put them in. I already pulled out a question a few minutes ago, but my camera is doing some funky things, so I had to stop and hopefully start again without that interruption that I had earlier. So, that being said, I'm going to answer or do my best to answer this question. And the question I pulled out was, what is meant by effortless action and non-resistance? What is meant by effortless action and non-resistance? I will, just a sec, see if I can do my timer again. I still have it going, so here we go. So what is meant by effortless action and non-resistance? And those are two words terms we often hear in Buddhism, Zen Buddhism especially, all types of Buddhism, and in Taoist philosophy, and in yoga. And what do those things mean? Effortless action. Effortless action and non-resistance, both of them I tend to see right now as being kind of coincidental that I pulled up that question, is because I am once again practicing Tai Chi. I started practicing Tai Chi, the physical exercise component of Tai Chi, back in the 1990s. And I was concerned only about the physicality of the exercise then. I saw it like a beautiful dance, and I wanted to be able to master that dance. So when the master who I had was quite a good master, start talking about things like chi and the movement of chi and this effortless action and non-resistance in this form of a martial art, because Tai Chi basically is a martial art, a very gentle martial art. I found it a little too woo-woo for my liking. I had just started experimenting with yoga back then, or studying yoga back then and practicing yoga, so I wasn't really into the woo-woo at that point as I am now. Now when I practice Tai Chi, I'm looking to experience that flow of Chi, just like I look to experience the flow of Shakti in my yoga. Not so much the Hatha component, but through the other work I do in yoga, the studying the jhana component and the meditation component, dhyana component of the process of yoga. So both in Tai Chi and in yoga and this understanding, I have a Buddhism, though I am not a Buddhist, and a Buddhist person would not try to convert me to Buddhism. I know that, so it's not anything like that, but I had just exploring all realms of Eastern and Western thought to come up with what feels right for me. So I can't call myself a Buddhist or a Taoist or a Hindu, even though I love yoga and I love Buddhist philosophy and I love Tai Chi and I love the Tao, which I've read several times in many different translations. That all being said, the Tao Te Ching, I read. I think effortless action and non-resistance are the true component of these philosophies. With effortless action, what we're doing is we're acting not with effort, struggle, striving, tends to get into the way of our living experience rather than enhance it. When we have a goal, a SMART goal or whatever, and we try to go out to achieve it, and we're so focused on getting it, and we're just doing, grabbing, pushing this away, pushing that away, we fail to detach from the outcome of that experience. And attachment to outcome, as Lord Krishna told Arjuna in the Gita, is in the way of truly experiencing what we're here to experience. It gets in the way of our true purpose, if you want to use that word purpose, that we tend to overuse in Western culture, and and use it as a means for striving and doing rather than a means of experiencing life as it is. When I look at Tai Chi, which is if the forms in Tai Chi, which are postures in themselves that are, they can be very easy postures or they can be quite challenging postures depending on how much effort we put into the poses. When I look at those and I see a true master who no longer struggles with the forms, no longer struggles to get it exactly the right way, and so concerned about which way the body's movement and allows the flow of chi itself to take them through these sequences. I see an effortless dance. This martial art, which is involving striking and protecting and defending, like all martial arts do, is one where there is no resistance, right? So in Tai Chi, if we look at these two concepts of effortless action and non-resistance, we see these gentle flow of movement with the Chi rather than trying to do it right and strive against the Chi, or whatever else is happening in our environment. And Chi is everywhere, right? It's not just inside us and our muscles or whatever, but it's in everything around us, in the very air molecules that we're breathing in. So if we're struggling to move, we're struggling against the atmosphere we're in, which includes, the environment. So that makes it an effort rather than an effortless action. But in Tai Chi, we see flow. We see a flow with Chi and an effortless way, so it becomes a dance rather than a fight. And we also see non-resistance, because even though it is a martial art, the goal of Tai Chi as a form of martial art, as the Shaolin monks developed it into many, many thousands of years ago, is one of non-resistance. You're not struggling and fighting your opponent. You're not against your opponent. You are actually working in harmony with your opponent. More specifically, your chi, your inner energy, your life prana, your shakti, as the yogis call it, is flowing through you because you've learned to open up and go with it, the life flow. And though the opponent is coming at you to attack you, you recognize their chi and their energy, and you allow yours to harmonize with it. So it's such a gentle martial art for that reason. Yes, you're going to defend yourself, and yes, you will have to strike at times, but it becomes more like a dance step forward each strike. And each defense or retreat is like a dance step backwards. And you're bringing the energy of the opponent with you, and then you're taking your chi to push the energy back into them, and that's what gives it the strength in terms of the martial art component of Tai Chi. But when you look at it, it is just a beautiful dance. It's a beautiful flow of energy with life that encapsulates this idea of effortless action and non-resistance. We're not fighting life, we are working with life. We know that the energy is who we are, and we remove ourselves from these little ideations and self-concepts we had that we were doing the dance, we were doing the fighting, we were manipulating life to serve us. Instead, we just relax and fall back into it, and then we move with it. And that is a way to approach not only Tai Chi or yoga or, any Buddhist practice we may be undertaking. It is a way of approaching life. We need to stop struggling so much against what is, against what we assume life is giving us, either in the form of a punishment or a reward in our minds, and just doing that. And we need to relax into the suchness of everything. When we relax into the suchness of what is, all action becomes effortless. It doesn't mean we do not act in life. It simply means that we don't struggle against life. And that's where effort comes from. It comes from striving to make life different than what it is. All right, right? Striving to change the environment so that we feel comfortable inside. We're putting great effort, muscle tension, you know. In Tai Chi, there is no great muscle tension. The muscles stay relaxed for most of the exercise. Yet we have greater physical strength. You know, if you use it in a form of a martial art and you use chi in the right way, you're going to have greater physical strength without that muscle tensing and resisting what is. And so if we can do that, incorporate that into our life practice, instead of tensing up and struggling against the reality of what is showing up in front of us, and simply noticing it, observing it at the deepest level using all our senses and all our inner sensory perceptions that we're not even aware of yet, and able to harness our chi so it flows peacefully through us, and recognize the chi in the opponent or the experience of life that we're encountering. And instead of struggling against it, we simply harmonize with it. And that's the basis of Tai Chi, and it's the basis of Buddhist philosophy, and it's the basis of yoga, to relax into what is and to allow life to flow and to go with the flow of life rather than against it. My time is up. Thank you so much for joining me, and it's so good to be back. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.